I'm starting it. Hey guys, it's John Trent with Bounty Comics. We're back again, and as promised, we're taking a look at Charles Soule and Carmine, Charles Soule's Darth Vader number 11. See the pretty slick cover here with Vader's got his. It looks like it's that thin red lightsaber that we got there. My dog's checking it out. She's interested in Darth Vader too. So, as you might know, we have lots of interesting Star Wars. The Star Wars comics always start off with their little script, like in the movies. We get kind of breaks down what's happened in the past and what's started in the what's going to happen here. And it's a little title page too, so we know who the writer is, Charles Soule. We know that pencils are done by Giuseppe Camuncoli, and they're inked by Daniele Orlandini, and the colors are by David Curiel. So this is a brand new story arc. Darth Vader is on a mission hunting down Jedi, and he's been training the Inquisitorius, which were featured in Star Wars Rebels. And in this one, we get to see a little bit of the Ninth Sister. And I have to say, this first page was I just love this first page, because the Ninth Sister calls Vader to come to this this bar kind of on Caberia, which I think is a new planet in the Colonies region. And because apparently there's been a report of a Jedi, but like, just read this right here. The Ninth Sister asks, "But I gotta ask, Lord Vader, why are we here?" And then this is just how, like, Charles Soule knows who Darth Vader is. "A foolish question, Ninth Sister." and then the response is just great. "No, I asked that wrong. I don't mean we. I mean you." Because Vader just doesn't give a crap about these Inquisitorius. They're so beneath him, they don't even matter. And that's just typical Darth Vader. And that's exactly what we've seen in the movies, minus maybe when his interactions with Tarkin, but pretty much every single other, like, Imperial officer, if they disappoint him, he just kills them, because they didn't do their job right, and they're not worth anything to him. And then I mean, it continues right here on the second page. And then right here, Vader says, "You should be pleased, Ninth Sister. You still require instruction, as do the other Inquisitors. You are not ready to hunt Jedi alone." And then you can see, we don't even need to see the lesson that Vader taught. All we need to see is is what happened, the aftermath. And you can see here that the Ninth Sister was taught that lesson pretty substantially she lost an eye. Like, it's gone. And this is something that the original trilogy Star Wars movies did really well. They would hint at things that happened in the past, and you knew they were somewhat significant, but you didn't really need to know about them. They weren't, like, primary to the story. And this is just showing you the characterization between Vader and his relationship with the Inquisitors, and specifically the Ninth Sister. And it's really done really flawlessly. And, like, you already know the dynamic between these two with just a couple lines of dialogue, and it's just really good. But so basically, the gist of the story is Vader's going into this bar to hunt this Jedi that's been supposedly reported, but and it's really cool. We get this cool, like, awesome little cantina scene, very similar to New Hope, and then kind of what they did with Force Awakens with Maz Kanata's little castle. So it's very Star Wars-ish. We get some, like, really cool aliens. Look at this bartender. I don't zoom in there. She's pretty interesting. Look, we even got I can't remember the race that they're called right now, but look, they're playing. They're playing their little instruments. So it's really cool. It really has like the Star Wars vibes. And just look at these guys. There's all different kinds of aliens. It's the book feels very Star Warsy. And it is Star Warsy. It's Darth Vader. But there's always danger afoot whenever Darth Vader goes, and sometimes it might not even be Vader. So Soule really looks into the what's happening with like the bounty hunters, and how they play a pretty big role, not only serving Vader, but in this case they're hunting Darth Vader. So that's really interesting little twist that Soule includes. And what's even really cool is that they found a way to completely here's my dog again, she's totally into Darth Vader. They even found a way to be able to Soule found a way to like make Vader weak, as they use some kind of they call it they use some kind of technology here. Oh, she totally is like wanting attention. She's like, I want to read. All right, so you gotta move here. But they even use like this technology here to be able to destroy, like that's Vader's lightsaber being completely ripped in half and destroyed there. So he's completely, you think he'd be defenseless, but it's Darth Vader, and he's going to find a way to overcome this, what do you want to call it? This weakness, this momentary weakness. So, and he's able to overcome it, but it's not. He doesn't overcome it as easy as what you'd think. It's definitely quite a challenge. And then just how much just got to point this out again. The relationship between Vader and the Ninth Sister and the Inquisitors in general. He keeps pointing it out. So to reinforce it, this one might be a little bit overdone, but it was a brief little humor here. So you had some good Soule is able to like inject some humor into the story. Even in the middle of an action scene, I didn't feel like it took away anything. It kind of just made things a little bit light. But then you get right back into the action over here as Vader like takes on these bounty hunters. So you kind of just get more of a fight. There's even like a really cool chase scene here with Vader on a speeder. As you can tell, there's like plenty of good action. I really like this panel here. I really like how it's done. It's broken down. You get kind of back and forth between Vader and the bounty hunters. And then you can kind of get an idea of what Vader's doing here. And what it's kind of interesting. I'm not really sure why he does this. I guess it's just a way to show more of Vader's kind of like right here in this panel. You can see more of Vader's talents and what he can do. So we've obviously seen him use the Force on here, but he's not even using the Force. He's just using his own ingenuity without the Force to kind of defeat these bounty hunters, and that's really cool to see. He thinks using the Force against them is just kind of beneath him. But the book's really good. There's some really cool stuff. You can see some of the end of the action here. We can't show too much. Let's go back here and look here. It's so Star Warsy right here. But yeah, so just to kind of give a brief summary of what we talked about here, there's some really good. Soule's got some really good dialogue, especially between the Ninth Sister and Vader. It really sets that relationship. I really enjoyed that part. There's Camuncoli's action sequences are exciting. I really love the chase sequence that he does. We don't really get to see a lot of those like kind of chase sequences as much as you'd like in comics, and this one was done really well. And it didn't drag on forever, and it was just kind of like the perfect type pacing was very well done. And then I liked so there's some really good like twists in the plot. You kind of knew a little. I mean, you can probably guess a little bit kind of what happens towards the end. But there's a little bit of a mystery on who these bounty hunters are and like why they're after Darth Vader. And Soule does a really good job, and it kind of sets things up really well moving into the arc. It might be a little bit of a retread of kind of what we saw in the past Darth Vader series by Kieran Gillen. So it'll be interesting to see how Soule differentiates from some of those stories. But so we got good dialogue, we have good pacing, some good action sequences. I like the story in general. There's some good plot twists. There's good action. It's a solid Darth Vader story that really dives into what it means to be a Star Wars story. So I definitely recommend this book. Overall, I'd probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. There were a bit of the transitioning. I was a little confused with the artwork here at the end of the chase scene. There was a couple times where I had to figure out what Vader was actually doing. So as you can see here, you had to kind of look at I had to figure it out. I think the biggest issue was the ad. The ad kind of takes you away when you're flipping the page here with the ad in between. But otherwise, is pretty solid Darth Vader Star Wars story. So once again, I would give it a 7.5 out of 10. And I would definitely recommend you pick this one up. All right, thanks for watching and joining in. And come back next week. We'll look at a couple more comics next week. Thanks, guys, and talk to you soon.